self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing.
We are Conversation Con Artists. What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. On Point.
And I am Calamity Red.
And we are Conversation Con Artists back for another episode. I need you to go to www.conversationconartists.com and check out all of our old podcasts as well as our current one. The articles that we're talking about link to that current episode, as well as hovering over to the left over the mail icon and leaving us some email feedback or subscribing to our newsletter. You can find me on Twitter at MISTER_on-point.
And I can be found at red_calamity. Also, we are still doing the list letter portion of the show. So if you have a question that you would like for us to answer on the air, you can send it in through the website, or you can send it into our Gmail account at conversationconartists@gmail.com. And we only have one question today, and it is about cheating. And about whether or not we believe that a relationship can bounce back after an incident of infidelity. And I have two answers.
You've got two answers.
I have my therapist's answer, and then I have like the answer that I have for myself, because it's a little bit separate.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Therapist's answer is, you could do anything that you're willing to put the work into. So if the two people, like the person who cheated and the person who was cheated on, decide that this is something that they want to work past, it's completely possible. It's very hard to do, but it's possible to rebuild that trust, because that's essentially the biggest factor I think that gets impacted by an incidence of infidelity. Is like, now I can't trust you. So both parties have to put in the work, and putting in the work is going to look different for each person. For the cheater, putting in the work means that you are going to have to understand that for a little while, you don't have that same benefit of the level of trust that you had prior to, and you're going to have to just accept that this is something that's going to have to be built back up over time. For the cheatee, you have to remember that this is something that you decided that you want to work through and work on, and working through it and working on it don't mean throwing it up in his face every day or her face every day or bringing it up all the time. It's working on rebuilding that trust. So therapeutically, yes, I think it is possible. It takes a lot of work, but it's possible. What about you? Or you want me to go ahead and give my answer?
I thought you were going to give your other answer.
Okay, so then the answer for me is fuck no. Because, so this is, okay, and this is going to completely count out what I just said. But for me personally, because I know, especially if it's like a marriage, like, how would you just be able to walk away? How was you able to go fuck somebody else is my question. So like, for me, therapeutically, like I said, I know that you can work on it. I'm not going to want to, because I'm going to feel like the time to work on it was before you fucked that bitch. Like, if you were unhappy, if there was something going on that created an environment where this was a possibility, you should have came to me and we could have tried to work it out. I try to make myself be very open to communicating about shit, and I let people that I'm with know that. Like, if you don't like something that I'm doing, fucking tell me. Like, I may not like it, but I would much appreciate that you tell me this so that I can work on it, or we can work on it, because that's the whole point of us being together, and that's how people stay together. So like, if I'm doing some annoying shit, and I can be an annoying person sometimes, fucking tell me that. Don't be walking around because you don't want to hurt my feelings. Fucking somebody else is going to hurt my feelings a whole lot more than telling me you unhappy with some shit I'm doing. So for me, at the point that you decided to do that, all the work gets put on me, because now I got to try to get past this and get through this and try to figure out how I'm going to trust you again, and, you know, be comfortable with when I'm not with you, or be comfortable when you having to work late, or whatever the fucking case may be. And for me, I know me, and I'm not going to put in the work that's required for us to move past. I'm just not. I'm going to be angry, and I'm going to feel like it ain't my job to fix this because I didn't fuck it up. We could have fixed it before you did this. And like I said, because I know that I make people very aware that I'm like open to constructive criticism, or if it's something that you don't like, or I'm open to that. Like, let's talk about it and try to figure it out. Let's see if we can't work it out. I'm very open to that, and I make sure people know that. So for you to go and do this anyway means that you ignored the fact that this is something that, you know, we tried to make a part of our relationship. So for me personally, now it's a lot of things that I would be, you know, if you lost your job and you was broke and I had to like pull the weight until you were able to find another job, I'm right there. We gonna figure it out. We'll make a budget. We'll do whatever it is we need to do. Sure. Great. Can do that. If you get sick and I have to now be your caregiver, and now obviously that wasn't something I signed on for in the beginning, but yes, I will figure it out. I'll hire somebody if we have, whatever it is, whatever it takes. But this cheating shit, I'm not going to be able to get past that because I know me, I know my personality, and I know how I am. And no, I'm just not going to be able to get through it because I know how I've been in the past when somebody's cheated. And it's just like, nigga, fuck you. Like, sorry, I don't trust you. I'm not going to try to trust you again because I don't feel like I should have to. You the one fuck this up now. I got to do all of this shit to try to fix now. Nope. Not gonna happen. So, therapeutically, yes. For Red personally, hell no.
So, generally speaking, of course, yes. Anybody can overcome having been cheated on in a relationship. However, I do want to let you know that it's basically the equivalent to dropping your favorite glass, shattering it, super gluing it back together. It worked, but it ain't the same.
Nope.
You don't even drink out of it the same way that you used to. You paranoid because you think it might be some glass in it.
Or that it's going to leak through. Yeah.
And not only that, but it's very easy to break.
Yep.
It's easy to be tore up one day when you open up the dishwasher. You can't even dishwash it no more.
You can't even dishwash it anymore because it's definitely going to be tore up.
It's just not going to be the same. Nope. Yes, you can stomach through the pains of a bad relationship. You can deal with the frustration of a bad relationship, but deep down in your mind, you're going to wonder what it could have been if you didn't have these like barriers on it. Like that infidelity is going to have your relationship in a chokehold for the rest of your relationship. You know, so my question is, why would you want to? Why would you want to do that stuff?
Well, wait, either cheat or forgive.
Why would you want to? So, my personal response, I've been cheated on. And I'm not a jealous dude. We didn't even break up after that happened. This was a long ago relationship. Like,
what do you mean y'all didn't break? So what did you do? Like, what, you were just like, okay.
First off, she wouldn't admit it.
See,
immediately.
I can't stand that shit.
But I knew
trying
it.
to tell me I'm crazy.
She wouldn't admit it, but I knew it. Somehow, I don't know. I knew it would have happened. But that's just the level of, I don't know what it was back then. I'm not a jealous dude though. But that lets me know that you're not ready for a relationship with a committed person. That's what you're not ready for at that point. That's what that helps me realize, you know? And so like, while I don't harbor any anger towards you, this is not what you want if we're calling ourselves boyfriend and girlfriend at that point. You know? So for me, I'm not going to deal with it because you've shown me that you want to play the field. You can play the field. That's fine. Because I don't believe in shackling somebody to you based on I like yous.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. Like, if I say, hey, I like you, and you say, hey, you like me too, and you find somebody better than me tomorrow, go with his ass. Just go with him. Tell me, look on point. I found somebody better. I think they better anyway, and I want to give that a shot. I just want to give that a shot. Fine, go for it. I ain't stopping you, you know. But don't do all that stuff behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? So me not being jealous means I won't harbor no hatred towards you, but I do want you to be respectful enough to move on in a verbal way that you say, I'm moving on, you know? So in that way, if you cheat behind my back, I'm just going to say, you're not ready for a relationship with me. So we can't do this no more.
That's so nice that you'd be that calm. I would like, so another thing that would be difficult for me is that you just, I'm not like jealous. I ain't finna go through your phone. I'm not finna follow you around. Like, I don't do that kind of shit. And I'm not gonna let you turn me into that kind of person. And I feel like at the point that you disclosed to me that you were doing this bullshit that I didn't know about, now I'm gonna be wondering what you doing when we ain't together. And I'm gonna be wondering who the fuck you texting on that phone. I don't want to be that person. And I'm not gonna let you make me into that person because I can't trust you now. I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm just not going to do that. That's not who I am. It's not who I want to become because of a fuck ass relationship. Like, at the point that you decided to go fuck somebody else, that was when you said, I don't want to be with Red no more. I don't. And I'm very upfront about this. Like, all of this stuff everything that I say on the show, I say to the people that I date. Like, I let people know all of this. And this is how it is. This is how I am. I can't deal with it. Like, and I'm not going to. Now, I probably wouldn't be as mature about it as On Point. I'm just going to be honest. Now, I'm not a destroyer of property, so I'm not going to like slash your ties or nothing. I will verbally make you want to commit suicide probably though. Like, I'm not going to put my hands on you, but I'm going to make you feel like you're not shit. Like, verbally. Because I'm going to be angry, and that's just, I'm a verbal person. I'm not a physical person. So I'm not gonna like break your shit or nothing. It's not gonna end well. I wish that I could say that I was mature enough for it too. I know myself well enough to know that I'm not though.
I think I'm like irrationally calm though.
You are, and it's creepy.
So like it's caused problems in past relationships where
because nobody's like that. You're fucking weird.
I'm not weird.
Yes, you are.
I'm just very, very, very calm.
Because you saying that you would just be like, you're not ready for a relationship. I know that you would say it exactly like that. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that you would be just that fucking cool. And I can't fathom that. Like, I can't fathom a universe in which I was just like, you know what, guy? You just weren't ready to be with me. Let's just call it quits. I'm not gonna be able to fucking do that. Like, I can't. I just wouldn't be able to. I wish that I was that mature. Maybe that's something I need to work on within myself, because I probably shouldn't be so quick to be like, fuck you, and let me tell you all the reasons why. Shouldn't be that way. But I am.
Are there any reasons that you would stay with somebody
after they cheated? No. Not even like if we were married. And I know people that are married love to say these people now don't know how to like maintain relationships, and they just run at the first sign of trouble. Again, I'm not leaving because you lost your job and now shit is a little different. I'm not leaving because you got sick. I'm not leaving because of some things that we could work through. I'm leaving because you did some fuck shit, and I don't feel like that's something that I have to try to fucking work through. Sorry, don't. And I also wouldn't want my kids to think that this is okay for them to be treated this way, or for my daughters to feel like you have to take this, you have to like work on this, you have to accept this and try to find a way to like move. No, you don't. You deserve to be with somebody who loves you and only you. And if this person that you thought was the one that was able to do that isn't, then it's okay for you to leave. If you want to stay, cool. But I don't ever want them to feel like they have to, or feel like, well, my mom did it, so no, you don't have to stay with somebody that mistreats you. You don't have to stay with somebody who decides that they're going to go out here and fuck around on you. Like, no. So there is not a situation in which I would stay. Not one that I could think of. None. Because again, even if we were having problems, that the time to work on them was before you brought somebody else into this marriage. And again, I just feel like when people say that folks don't want to work on stuff, but what does he have to do? I'm the one that has to fucking try to like be able to trust you. I'm the one that has to do the work in this situation, and I ain't the one that fucked it up. Like, I just don't feel like I need to put in all that work for this. Like, again, if you get sick, that, you know, whatever, that happens. That's life happening. You lose your job, that's life happening. Even if you lost your job because you was doing some fuck shit, even that I could still, because people make mistakes. But like cheating on me is not a mistake in my mind. That's something that took time for you to get to, because most times it ain't just like a relationship where you just met this bitch and y'all just fucked. It's somebody that you were having conversations with. This, there were things that led up to this and you didn't put the brakes on it, and you decided that you were gonna go ahead and do this shit anyway, and you kept putting yourself in fucked up situations with this bitch. No, I can't. I'm sorry.
So would it be different if it wasn't any of that?
No.
If it was a prostitute?
Hell no. That's even fucking worse. That's even worse. You put a price on the demise of our marriage. So I hope that $20 was worth it, motherfucker. Hope that 20, but how, I don't know how much.
But she don't mean nothing though.
And I don't mean nothing to you either, obvious. Neither do your kids and this whole family shit that we've been building up for the past however many years we've been married. I hate when people say she don't mean nothing. Okay, and? So I'm supposed to be like, well, that was a mean nothing bitch, so I shouldn't be upset. No. You think that makes it better that you just went out here and fucked some random broad? Now I'm supposed to be like, well, it was just a random girl, so no. That don't make it no better. And that makes me even more furious if somebody says that. The fuck you mean she don't mean nothing? You had sex with her. She meant something. So no. So again, my answer is therapeutically, absolutely. If you're willing to put in the work, you can. I do agree with On Point that it will never be the same. It's not going to be the relationship that you went into, but you can maintain it and y'all can stay together. People do it all the time. But personally, fuck that shit.
As a therapist, we got to work on the goals that our clients identify.
Yeah. And that is so hard sometimes because in my head, I'm like, do you really want to work on that? Like,
I want to be like, I've had some clients where I want to be like, listen, y'all just go y'all fucking separate ways. That's just going to be the best
thing
that
y'all
going to get out this situation. You go this way, you go that way. Don't ever talk to each other again. Y'all will be fine. Can't say that.
And it hurts sometimes. Yeah. It hurts sometimes. Like I've had married couples where it's just like, I don't know how the fuck y'all even got together in the first place, but don't continue this. This was doomed from the beginning. It ain't gonna get no better. He don't respect you, like or she doesn't love you, like especially when I've had couples come in where like one person was just like, I just don't love him anymore. Then why the fuck are you in this? What are you staying for? What? That's the only reason. That is the only, and people confuse families and marriages. That marriage is between two people. Family unit is all of us. But this marriage is between you and I. And this marriage was bound by me loving you and you loving me. And once that shit ain't there no more, there's nothing to bind the marriage together. The kids don't bind the marriage together. That's not how that works. Because especially think about if you didn't even have the kids in the beginning, that's not what was bounding y'all together. The kids are not in the marriage. That's a separate thing. And as somebody who grew up in a household with two parents who fucking hated each other, I would have much preferred going to separate households and them finding somebody else to make them happy than to be in a house listening to them fucking argue all the time and verbally tear each other apart. Nobody wants that. That's not better. Like just having two bodies and how people love to say 2-parent homes are so healthy. 2-parent homes are as healthy as the two people that are parenting in it. Like it's not automatically good because there's like two adults in this house. If those two adults don't get along, it can be more detrimental than being in a single parent home. Because now I have examples of the shittiest type of a relationship to build off of. And this is what my normal is now. So no, there's not any reason that.
What do you think about like open relationships?
I just think they stupid.
That's something you don't understand? Or?
No, I don't. Because how is it a relationship? Y'all just fucking people. Y'all just kind of happen to like each other more, I guess, than the other people. But like that, and I feel like even like therapeutically, I've had clients that have had, somebody gets upset. Somebody wants to close it at some point, because they become more invested. And once you have had this dynamic where it's okay, like I can flirt with other people, it's okay for me to like have these outside things, it's very difficult to break that and just say, okay, now it's just gonna be us. when we've been for a year and a half just been like doing whatever we want to do, but coming back together and being together. Like I don't see how they work successfully. I haven't seen them work successfully, not for long periods of time. Eventually somebody get upset from the ones that I've seen. Somebody get mad because somebody it gets more invested. Over time you get more invested, and then like you can't change the dynamics because you feel differently, because this is what you agreed to. Now I gotta not do this because you feel some kind of way. Now it's a problem. So I don't think that they work. I think that they can work in the short term. I don't think that at long term that will work. Even the sister wives and shit, that shit, polygamy, it's a problem, because if you spending more time over here with her and these kids and I'm hardly getting to see you, I'm gonna feel some kind of way about that. Like, I know I signed up for this, but shit, I thought I was gonna get equal attention at least. And I don't know what man would want to. What man wants to deal with 4 or 5 women?
Shit, every man damn near. What it seems like in our society.
But see, I think that men who like glorify polygamy thinks that it's just gonna be this fun ass like bouncing from bed to bed type shit. You have separate households that you have to take, because you're responsible for all of these women and any of the kids that you bear with these women. You are responsible for keeping everybody happy. That's a lot. That doesn't seem like a fucking utopia to me. That sounds terrible. I think the men that like glorify polygamy think that they're looking at it from the perspective of, I get to fuck 5 bitches and nobody can say shit to me about it, and they all know about each other, not realizing what else comes with that. You have 5 wives and each wife have 2 kids. That is 10 children now that you are responsible for. That's 5 women that you're responsible for keeping happy. That's a lot of shit. That sounds tiring as fuck to me. That sounds horrible. Dating one person like takes a lot of fucking work. I can't imagine being married to 5. Like, I would leave. Y'all, none of y'all would know where I was at, because I would just dip out because it would just become overwhelming. I think the people who glorify that aren't people who are gonna like be willing to like do it in a way that everybody could possibly be. I don't know that everybody gonna be happy, but I don't even know that they would put the work in. I think they just looking at it as what they would get from it, not what they would have to give in order for that kind of a system to like work.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Relationships, all that shit is complicated.
It is. It's so much.
As fuck.
It is. And like, one of my fears recently has been that I've been by myself for so long that whenever I do bring somebody else in, it's gonna be real hard for me not to be used to just dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been so long, and so like including somebody else is it's gonna be something that I'm gonna actively have to like work at. It's not gonna be something that comes naturally. Like, I'm gonna have to be like, okay, you can't just disappear for 4 days. Like, you gotta stay in touch with this person because y'all are kind of dating, and that's kind of what people do. So you can't just be ghost. You have to talk to them because that's what couples do, apparently.
Yeah.
So that is something that I've been thinking about recently, that it's gonna be something I'm gonna have to like put some effort into, because at this point it's just been me for like a really long time, and I just don't, haven't had to like do the regular date shit. Like, I've been on dates like sporadically. I haven't dated somebody where it's like, okay, we got, we make plans every week, and so now I gotta like siphon off some time for that person. And yeah, that's gonna be an adjustment. It's an adjustment that I absolutely can make, but it's just something that I'm gonna have to like be conscious of, because I will get ghost. And not because I'm angry, not because I'm upset, but because I just want to watch King of the Hill all weekend and chill with the dogs.
In this stretch of time that I've been single, I have just been working internally on what I need to do differently in my future relationships to make it work better for 2 people instead of just for me. I guess, because just thinking back on some of the things that I've asked of them to sacrifice, they just not worth the benefit to me as it would be to the relationship, as the gain it would be for the relationship. So I'm just evaluating a lot of stuff. One of those things is I don't fuck with Valentine's Day. Can't stand Valentine's Day.
Nigga, no, you can't. Yes, you gonna have to get past that.
I'm just, you ain't got to tell me. I already know.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
But
what? So what is your issue with Valentine's Day?
Just like most damn holidays, it's just a corporate ass exploitation of human emotion.
It is.
That don't mean shit.
It doesn't.
I mean, I just feel slighted that a day tells me that I need to show you somehow that I care about you more than every other day. And so for me, it's like your mama telling you, you know what I'm saying? Your mama saying, say thank you. And you were going to say thank you any fucking way. Don't tell me to do that shit. That's what Valentine's Day is to me. Don't tell me to do that shit. And then it's so many people that are trying to make up for their bullshit with Valentine's Day. Yeah. So I was like, listen.
But you're not going to be one of those people. I wouldn't imagine.
I know.
You're not going to be a person that's trying to make up for bullshit.
That's just minor shit with it. The major shit is don't tell me how to act on this day. And I'm just going to do it. You know, I'm a rebel to systems. I am. You know, but we chose different days to do it. It wasn't that day. We chose like different days to celebrate that thing in the past when I have dealt with that situation. It wasn't just I ain't gonna do it. It's just this day ain't it for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do this when somebody ain't benefiting in the corporate world.
Contrary ass.
Listen, that's just how I am. You know, but then I realized, you know, lately that I send people into work and to their friends and stuff
empty-handed as a motherfucker. Yep. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I don't need your shadow of opinion. I've already done this to myself. That's why I'm telling you about these are things that I'm currently changing.
Sorry.
All right.
Just thought I'd put that out there.
Damn, Red.
It's Valentine's. I don't really care about Valentine's Day.
I don't care about no day.
Like,
I don't even care about my birth. If I woke up and people didn't tell me happy birthday, I'd be fine.
No.
You know, no. But
by the way, my birthday is Sunday, so just putting that out there. Since we're, birthdays.
Okay.
I'll be 26. Shut up. Just let me have that. Okay.
26.
Yes.
So I forgot where I was at. I don't know.
That you were being contrary about Valentine's Day, and that's one of the things that you got to work on.
My indifference. What I've learned is that my indifference to things, I don't need to let that trickle over into other people. That's not their norm. What I'm realizing about myself is that my norms for myself are not norms for other people.
No.
And I've been living as if my stuff is more normal than not, and that what I feel makes sense. So I kind of convince people that it makes sense. It makes sense to everybody.
No.
And so it's not. So what I'm doing is I'm just reevaluating what I'm going to put in to my relationship. And you know what? In my head, a person who don't listen to this episode that start dating me in the future ain't gonna be able to tell the difference about the old me.
No.
versus the new me. Like, that's what I'm working on now. Like, I don't want them traces to be there. Or I want them to know that the old me is like that, but I still know that it's worth it in some ways. And I'm not going to act like it ain't worth it to me in some ways. I've just been so actively against it that I don't really know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to find out at some point.
I think the togetherness thing is what I will have to work on. Because I'm just really, like, in some ways weird, like, not the average. Like, I'm not like a PDA, hold your hand type of person, but some people like that. And it's very hard for me to just not be like, no, nigga, I'm not gonna hold your hand. Why you even want me to? Like, making them feel bad. Like, just because I'm not like into PDA doesn't mean that I can't, like, I guess hold your hand when we out. Like, just, I'm going to have to work at including somebody else into my life in a more intimate way than I include other people. Because that's what makes the relationship different. And for me, that's going to be a challenge. And it's something I can do. It's just something at the beginning that I'm going to have to consciously make an effort to do. Because again, I will get ghosted. And not because I'm mad, not because I'm not interested in you anymore, but just because I felt like just, going off the grid and watching King of the Hill and not talking. Because I talk for a living and sometimes I don't want to fucking talk. So that's what I'm going to have to work on actively, is like making sure that I'm including that person in my life. And that is something that I'm going to have to like work at, because it's not something that naturally comes to me. And I know that it's something that's necessary for a functioning relationship. So that would be something that I would kind of need to like be aware of.
I think that it's this thing that I'm in my head. I've been kind of worried about in my next relationship that I've never been worried about before. So I don't know why, but a part of it is because I'm a lot more vocal as an individual than I have been before. And that thing is like meeting her family and her having a whole bunch of males that's like challenging. I feel like that's gonna get my ass kicked out of the family, like from jump, because I'm not gonna play the oh yes sir I ain't gonna play that. I just don't feel like I would. I don't know, but that's gonna be the variable that I don't know how to prepare for. The family stuff. Meeting
parents is all like, because this is something that could like fuck up your whole shit, like to have parents that hate you, like you could continue, but it's gonna be uncomfortable as shit for everybody. Like you want them to like you, but it's one of those things where it's like, you don't know, maybe it's gonna be some, like I have quirks. I do. I know that I have a couple of quirks here and there, and sometimes the quirks are charming to people, and sometimes the quirks are like, what the fuck is wrong with her? So that's always a concern. Like I'm always myself, because my whole thing is everybody's going to eventually be themselves. So if I went in and I was putting on this front trying to be who I think you want me to be, eventually I'm just going to be red. So you need to kind of just like red from the beginning, because eventually she's what you're going to get. So I have not met that many parents, because I know most women are like, can't wait till the moment when they're like, they want to introduce you to their parents. And I'm just like, why would you want to do that? Like, no, you go, like inviting you over. No, you go on, just you enjoy your family. Like we can hang out when you get back. Because I don't want to do it. Like it's no, I don't want to be judged tonight. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. That ain't one of the things that I look forward to. Like, you could not ask me to meet your parents and I'll be fucking fine with that. I'm cool. We ain't got to. Because my parents are like when you meet my parents, it's going to be well after I feel like I got you. To where meeting them isn't going to deter you. Because my family is special. And so you need to be invested prior to meeting them.
So what you want, a Bruce Wayne situation?
A what?
Bruce Wayne situation.
What do you mean?
Batman.
What about Batman?
He ain't got no parents.
I mean, do I want? That sounds terrible to say I want an orphan.
I'm just saying.
No.
And you thought too hard about that. Right? You said it would. I mean, I wouldn't have no issue with it. I mean, as long as he ain't got no unpredictable ass behaviors based on that. Yeah. Like if he dressing up like a vigilante at night and going and trying to save people.
Yeah. I don't know. Meeting parents is just difficult, and that it's never certain. Like I know women are just like, they're so excited when they get to their point. I'm the opposite. I'm just like, shit, are we there yet? Like, is this and there's no way to like say you don't want to do it without looking like an asshole. So it's just so then I gotta like come up with excuses. Because I got something to do that weekend. So I got to find something to do. So I'm not lying. Ew.
I just got a whole bunch of scenarios. Like in my head, one scenario is he walk in with a dashiki and put up a Black Panther fist.
I hate you.
And
Why?
say, praise Allah, my brother. I'm going to be like, oh, shit. We ain't going to work out. We might as well leave now.
Yeah.
He finna go all into my childhood insecurities. My dad is a Muslim. He ain't do none of that stuff, though, but.
I didn't know your dad was a Muslim.
Yep.
Have we not talked about that?
I guess not.
I guess not. I didn't know that part. Okay.
My daddy went to jail non-religious and came out
Why
talking about some assalamu alaikum.
Muslim? Why did they come out of jail Muslim?
I don't know, but I was in a, well, I have my theories. I was in a sociology of religion class, and every week she brought in a different person from a different faith, and she brought 2 black dudes in from the Muslim faith, and that was my golden opportunity. I was like, what is it about the Muslim faith that when men go into jail and come out, they converted to Islam? And they said, that's not true. And I said, that's not true. Okay, let's not call it a truth. Let's say there is very strong causality because going to jail calls motherfuckers to come out and be Muslims. Well, let's not say it's true. There is a correlation, though. You know, today's me, I feel, would have said all of that shit. Then me said, oh, okay. But I think everybody who knows somebody who went to jail, and came out Muslim, if they didn't go in Christian as hell already.
Yeah.
But I think that I've always thought that Nation of Islam, Muslim, like Muhammad, Malcolm X, I just think it was a bandit brotherhood of black men. And I think that message matriculated more through the black community in jail than anybody else.
Do you think well, I also think part of it may be like protection. Like you want to join a group. Like I think so. Like I don't know.
Christians got to be the biggest group in all jails anyway, I feel.
But a Christian's gonna shank somebody for you if need be. Or are they gonna tell you to turn the other cheek? Like
all of them supposed to tell you to turn the other cheek. It's just that Malcolm X brand of Islam is the one that was a little bit aggressive and didn't really hold back. But Islam itself, I mean, ain't violent.
But
there's
I'm
groups
saying
in it that is same as Christianity.
So is the jail group? Are they? Because I feel like a lot like people join the Aryan Brotherhood when they go. Like they may not necessarily feel white power, but if you gonna keep my white ass safe, then yes, white power all day. Because I think that happens sometimes. Like you have to get a group for protection. Especially if you go in for a long stint and it's like shit, be here a while.
I don't think that's faith. I think that's gangs. I think jail has gangs and religion is separate from that. You know, I think they'll join a gang for protection or a group for protection.
Wasn't there
I don't think
Muslim
they use
group? I can't. Well, I mean, that's not the best example to use. But
What you finna use? Oh, hell. How dare you?
Sorry.
I mean, we already are kind of politically incorrect and probably offensive with this conversation.
Oh, yeah. We really are. I'm sure.
But you can't be mad if your ass went to jail and you came out a Muslim and you won. You just can't be mad. I'm just saying some shit.
Explain to us why. If you did, I would like to know why you did. What made you decide to do that?
Yeah, that we need an answer.
We need an answer for anybody, or if you got a family member who has done that, ask them, please. Like, so why Islam? Like, what made you decide to do that?
And you know what? I just never gave a damn about it. All it meant to me as a kid was I couldn't eat fucking pork skins in my daddy's house. And we had to eat after the sun went down. That shit was weird. I don't know. I don't like none of that shit.
What part of Islam they don't eat till the sun go down?
It's like Ramadan.
Oh, yeah.
Fasting season.
Yeah.
You can't eat when the sun up. So we got all the way into that.
All the way.
To say that the last thing I've been worrying about lately is just how my interaction with somebody's parents are going to go, apart from anything that got to do with them, which all stems from the conversation about cheating, which at the end of the day, we grown as hell. We can do whatever we put our minds to.
Yeah.
And if you put your mind to being in a relationship with somebody that cheated on you and you want it to be successful, it can. But it take work. It's hard as fuck. And why the fuck would you do it anyway?
Like, really?
That's why I was saying, like, what reasons? Like, clearly money can be a reason. Clearly dependence can be a reason. You know, clearly kids can be a reason. There's a lot of reasons that you would choose to stay in that situation. But if you choose to stay in that situation, you demand the fuck of a lot of shit out of that other person. Demand that other person prove to you that they can be the person that you need them to be in that relationship. Fuck the other shit.
Pretty much. So that is it. This long ass question, short question, long answer.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. So if you have a question that you would like for us to ramble on about, you can send it into the website, or you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationconartists@gmail.com. And since we were just talking about cheating, I think On Point has a story about cheating.
Yep, Sean Stockman,
which hurts my feelings.
the skinny head Boys to Men member.
Yeah.
He looked like Skeeter Valentine from Doug.
I hate you.
Y'all remember him? He used to do that shit right there. I used to love Doug. Anyway, he also was a host on the Sing Off. I don't know if that show's still going, but it was an a cappella competition show.
Oh.
That shit was amazing. I loved that show.
It.
But he apparently some infidelity going on in his relationship, and he released a video on Instagram and other forms of social media saying, "Hey, I want to apologize to my wife on record for my infidelity." He said, "I got into some stuff with some people that I have no business even hanging around or being with, and they tried to destroy my relationship."
Did they try to destroy your relationship, or did you allow your relationship to be destroyed?
I mean, I see what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? But just because I open the door a little bit and the motherfuckers outside kick the bitch in, it don't mean that everything was my fault.
Fuck you open the door a little bit for?
I'm
you
just
see
saying.
these masked assailants outside and you open up the door a crack and think that it ain't gonna get kicked in. That's your fault. Yes.
It's your fault, yes. But it's a lot of other, I don't want to say blame. Everybody play a role in the show.
Everybody plays the fool.
Everybody play a role in the show. And I mean, I played my role, or he played his role, and everybody else played their role. He can come out and speak against them playing their role, even though he...
I mean, for me, I wouldn't.
We already know about your situation.
Shit, fuck that.
We already know you've been, all your shit be gone.
Yep.
I mean, clearly none of his stuff will be damaged.
Nope.
According to you.
I wouldn't.
You know?
I've never been a destructive type of person. And I probably would have said some shit by that point that would have made him be like, you know what? I don't want to be with you. Because, yeah. But I wouldn't have touched this stuff. I feel like words have more power than me. You will remember my words. You can replace your stuff.
So tell me this. If a dude cheat on you, afterwards, what is the best thing that he can do?
Leave me alone.
Just cold turkey.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying, like, cheat on you, you find out, never hear from again on earth.
After we talked about it?
No, after you find out, y'all hadn't talked about it. What's the best thing that he can do?
That would drive me crazy to not
Well, that's what I'm asking. What's the best thing he can do after he's done this? You found out. Now he got a move to make. He know you know. Y'all hadn't talked about it. He got a move to make. What's the best thing he can do?
He needs to come and talk to me about it.
For what?
So that I could get all of this off my chest.
Then why would he ever do that?
But he ain't gonna know that.
If he hear this episode, he will.
What are the odds of me dating somebody that listens to that? Well, anyhow, don't disregard all of this, future boyfriend. If you listening, just ignore all of this. He ain't gonna know, because he gonna try, because that's what dudes do. He's gonna try to fix it and rectify it and have all of these excuses and shit. He gonna try to fix it. I don't know that a dude would just like leave it alone and just like leave you. I don't know that would even happen. I don't even know that that's a scenario that would take place.
So what you need him to do is come into here,
come get these
his ass roasted.
Come get these verbal bullets. Yes.
Hell no.
Yes. It's verbal. Better than me tearing up your stuff, right?
I mean, I'd rather have my stuff tore up than get some verbal lashing from somebody just to make them feel better, and I'm gonna feel like shit afterwards.
Guess what? You made me feel like shit, so now you get to feel like shit. That can be your redeeming thing. For give me that release, because you already fucked up. So why should I make you feel better? Why do you deserve to feel better after what you did? You should feel like shit, because in my mind, at that point, you are shit.
They should feel like shit anyway. You
But
ain't gotta help push that along.
But I'm gonna help push you on over.
Nah.
You need to know. So yeah.
First off, don't cheat on Red. If you do, disappear. Don't come back. Get the fuck on.
What if your stuff at my house? You gotta come back and get your things.
Might be worth it. Might not. Might want to come when she go to work. She ain't gonna get fired because of your ass.
I'm gonna change the fucking lock at the point that I find this ain't your house no more. You don't live here. You come get your stuff when I'm here, but you're not gonna be in here when I'm not here. This ain't your shit no more. You lost those privileges. I'm gonna go out that night and get some locks. Change that shit. No. Ain't gonna be no coming over while I'm at work. You're right, I ain't gonna lose my job. I ain't gonna have to, because I'm gonna be at work peacefully knowing that your motherfucking ass can't get in.
And angry because this nigga disappeared and you ain't been able to give him no damn verbal bullets. And you locked the chambers, locked and loaded.
I would choke on the word. Like, it would hurt me so bad to not be able. That's why I used to write. I used to write to get it out. So if I couldn't get it out, that way I could get it out through writing, because it chokes me. It hurts. I have to get it out. So yeah. So
Red's best case scenario is a dude's worst case scenario.
Yeah, so. Pretty much. What? But again, most dudes I feel like would prefer that as opposed to like your tires being slashed. Like, I would never do that. Never break your PlayStation 4. Never break your Xbox One. I wouldn't touch none of your games. Wouldn't ruin any of your clothes. All that would be intact. You would be free to get those things. Because I want to leave something with you that's going to stay with you. I want these words ringing around in your head even after you're gone. Because you can replace the Xbox and you can replace the PS4. But you can't shake the shit I said. Maybe. I mean, some niggas still won't care. But
so you show no mercy. No. You show no mercy for the. What about, what if you found out that a dude has cheated in his past relationship while you're dating him or talking to him? Does that make a difference, or is this a new slate?
I mean, just
cheaters in general just a problem for you?
He didn't cheat on. So if I'm gonna do that, I have to do that about every possible thing. I can't get upset about stuff that happened previous to me, because I do. Obviously, I'm a therapist. I do believe people can change when they get ready to. I think that they can change. So that wouldn't automatically discount you. But it would be kind of like you capable. I don't know, but I wouldn't discount somebody because they're, and if they told me about it, I mean, that means that you being open and upfront with me about like shit you've done, so you're not hiding it. So no, it wouldn't. If you didn't cheat on me, I could give some leeway for that, because it wasn't with me. It may have been when you were younger and stupid. You know. I
mean, I don't know why you would tell somebody that, but
you'd be surprised.
Yeah, you just shouldn't cheat, man. It's
not good.
You shouldn't do that shit.
Nope.
It's really. But I guess having conversations with some people who don't believe in like monogamy or believe in monogamy or whatever, it's like, is marriage and being together, is that a social construct more so, or a natural construct?
Because like animals,
we are the only group in the animal kingdom.
No, we're not.
We ain't the only group. No. Mammals, other mammals do, dolphins and stuff, but other animals
penguins do. Did you see that fight between the penguin? He came back and found his penguin woman had been stepping out on him, and they fought to the death.
It's a few, but a lot of them don't.
But that doesn't mean that it's not. So we only question this because we have the mental capacity. Do you think penguins are like, I wonder if other people out here sticking with one bitch? Like, or are there other species that just could get it in whenever they want to? Like, is it just us? Like, I feel like if it's natural for some, it's possible that it's natural for us and that it's not just a social construct, because penguins don't. I use penguins because of that cheating incident that happened with the penguins and how that shit ended. But it's natural for penguins to the point where when he came back from his skirt, wherever the fuck he had been, and saw this shit, he lost it the same way that we do. And they don't have social constructs. They don't get married to one another. They just mate for life. So I think that it is possible that this is natural for us.
They have social patterns. I guess they are not intentional though. Like,
they're not like their parents aren't. So you need to find a nice penguin girl and settle that. Like, they don't have that shit that we have. They do have social patterns, but they're natural patterns. They don't think about it. They just do it because that's what's natural to them to do. And we've been like coupling up since the beginning of the time. So monogamy has been throughout the polygamy's been there too, but monogamy has been, I think there's a reason why that has been there. And I don't know that it's just a social construct that was created and you feel obligated to. Because look at all the emotions that, if it was just a mating thing and it's just fucking, all of these emotions wouldn't get involved on both sides of the fence. Like, I just feel like the fact that you get attached to people means that you're not meant to just get attached to everybody. So I don't look at monogamy as a social construct because there are other mammals that do it, and they don't have, again, they don't have, young penguins don't have, penguins in their life saying, yo, you need to just lock that down. Like, she's a good penguin. I think that, she would be good for you. Y'all would make a cute little penguin baby, like, you need to just do that. They don't have that. They just do it.
You are correct.
So, I don't know. I do want to take this time out to mention that I met Cole Jackson from Government Names podcast. And the reason that I want to mention this is because he mentioned it on his show, and I feel like he made me seem like some arrogant asshole. So I was in PetSmart after I had got Remy, which is the new puppy, buying a bunch of stuff for him. And there was this black guy in line behind me. And so I'm just getting my stuff in. He said something. I think he said something about, oh, you got a puppy or something. We got to talking about the dogs. And then he was like, I think I follow you on Instagram. Did you post a picture of the dog? And I was like, yeah. He was like, you got a podcast too. And I was like, yeah. Because at this point, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, why does he know this shit? Because I never meet anybody in real life that follows my Instagram that I don't already know. So like, that is just like,
this is a moment in movies where you find out somebody been stalking your ass.
Exactly.
Could be that, but it also could be just somebody who coincidentally is connected to you in other ways.
I watch a lot of the ID channel. So at this point, I'm just like, I want this cashier to hurry up and like scan this shit so I can get the fuck out of here before he follow me out, because I don't know if he already know where I live, but I don't want to lead him there. Because now I'm like, do I need to just drive to On Point house and not even go to my own house so that he don't know? Like, I don't know what's going on here. Because you're right, you live down the street from this PetSmart. But so then that's when he was like, oh, I'm Cole Jackson from the Government Names podcast. On Point was on our show the other week. And I was like, you should have led with that, because I was terrified for a second. Because I didn't know what was going on. But he was real cool. He helped me pick out some puppy food for the dog because I got a free bag because Remy was a rescue. And I think you were on their episode about the election, and I chose to not be, because I was not finna talk about that shit twice. I knew we were going to talk about it on our show, and I already didn't want to talk about it on our show because I was so saddened by the results that I didn't want to have to be sad twice. So
understood.
But I do plan to like go on their show, and I think they are gonna come on ours at some point.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. But yeah, I just wanted to I was not arrogant. I was freaked out because I didn't know why he knew all these things about me. Because that shit don't happen. Like, nobody ever recognizes me out from not from YouTube. Well, I've had like one or two, and that's usually like women that see my hair and they're like, oh my god, watching a YouTube video about your wash and go or whatever. Outside of that, it don't happen. So I'm just like,
well, what I just learned is that if a stalker is following you, you will come to my spot instead of go to your own.
Yep.
Just send me a message and let me know if I need to wear my slides out or if I might need to be in somewhere to tussle with somebody in the worst case scenario. Okay, that's all I need.
I'll make sure I shoot you a text. I was so like, I'm gonna have to just go to his house. I can't go back to my house because then he gonna know where I live at. So
I got
a decision to make.
I just need a heads up. That's it.
I'll make sure I shoot you a text if the situation ever warrants.
We need a secret code word.
You know what? I have that with one of my friends. I told her, if I ever call you, talk about flowers, some shit is wrong, and I need you to get me some help. So if I ever call you and you pick up and you're like, hey, girl, and I'm like, hey, I was calling to remind you, don't forget to order the flowers. And you know we ain't talked about no flowers.
So do you have a secret code word to use in case you need to talk about flowers, but it's not an emergency? Because otherwise, you can never talk about flowers with her ever.
We would never talk about flowers. Like, in the whole time I've known her, I don't know if we've had a conversation about flowers. And even after I told her that, it never has come up to where we needed to like have a conversation about flowers. So, And it's if I call and I directly go into flowers. Not if like we talking and then I'm like, oh, such and such since we fell after we've been talking a while. If I call and the first thing I'm talking about is, did you order the flowers? It's a problem.
You're in danger.
I'm in danger. So that's what I have with her, but that don't even matter now.
I guess you wouldn't even need a code word. You can just tell me it's a fucking stalker behind me.
Oh yeah, I'd be in my car. Yeah, I would be in my car at that point. So
I don't want to die. Make sure you have on somewhere just in case you gotta throw a motherfucker out here. Bye. Be there in a minute.
Be there in a sec. I don't see a car behind me, but I can't be too sure. Yeah. But no, he was super cool and I was fine after I figured out who he was. But initially I was just like, this is fucking weird. Like what is going on here? But yeah, so he talked about it on their show, and I think he made me seem like I was just kind of like, of course you follow me on Instagram, and no, I mean that's not even something I would ever say. Anytime if somebody ever like notices me from some kind of social something, I'm gonna be like, really, okay, like that's gonna be surprising to me. So, but I thought that I would put that out there. So if he listens, he gonna get a good laugh about this. But Kanye West. We talked about Kanye last week, and I said that I felt like he was unraveling and that this was different than it's been before. Has he been released yet? He's still in the hospital. They said like depression and extreme paranoia.
He said that they wouldn't even let the doctors touch him for a little while.
Wow.
For a while, they wouldn't let him touch him. He's supposed to be released to his personal doctor soon, though.
Oh, okay. Well, I just, it's sad. I'm going to leave it at that because I made a pledge last week and I'm going to stick to that pledge. It's just sad, and hopefully he gets the help that he needs. I think he is a narcissistic personality, and so it's only going to be so much growth that he's gonna make from this, but I do hope that he's at least able to like function, because narcissists function in society. They don't, he had to cancel a 21-day tour. He still had 21 more tours to go to, and the people who he fucked over at that last concert had to get their money back. So, but he does have insurance, so he won't be like liable for not providing the concerts.
It wouldn't matter no way. He could pay anybody he wanted to pay about anything.
But he wouldn't want to pay.
Of course not, but he would be able to.
He would be able to, but he won't have to because he had that insurance policy, and this is a medical situation that can't be helped because But I do think that, hopefully he'll be able to get some help from this, because I just felt like he was unwrapped. Like, to me, it just seemed like it was worse than it had ever been. And then the next day after I said that, I saw where he canceled the tour. The cancel of the tour came first. And then I think later on I saw where he was like hospitalized and they did a 5150, which he was not happy about. Where they have to, they could do a emergency I think it's 72-hour hold for observation if they think that you're a danger to yourself or to others.
Yeah. And
he was pissed. And I don't think that his family could see him at that time during the 5150 hold. I can't remember. I don't know. I can't remember the rules of 5150. I know it's 72 hours, but I don't know if you can like have visitors during that 72 hours. I know they eventually like went to his side, but that's all I'm gonna say in an effort to keep my pledge.
Kanye West, even if he gets normal, or
he's still living away. The
best version of Kanye is still compromised. The best version of Kanye is still George Bush hate black people Kanye.
Yes, it is.
You know, so he's still gonna be a ticking time bomb of saying and doing bullshit, but at least it won't be this unpredictable.
Yeah.
And this levels of bullshit.
Yeah.
You know? Talking about if I would have voted, I would have voted for Trump.
Like,
why would you even say that?
Exactly.
You didn't vote. Shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
I only vote so I can talk shit about politics.
I do think that, I mean, at least it's bringing some like shine, I guess, to mental illness, because there's still people who believe that mental illness is not a real thing and that people don't suffer from mental disorders and that, you know, they just need to pray, or they just need to be positive, or they just, you know, need to do all of these things that would just take care of something that is physically something wrong with these people. Like in their brains there is something off, and people still don't believe that it exists, that it's a thing. So you know, I do think he's been suffering from depression, the paranoia. I can see that. And why did he have Kid Cudi at this lab? Like, ain't he supposed to be in rehab? And it hadn't been that damn long. It ain't been long enough for him to be out at somebody's concert.
It might be.
It ain't been 30 days, has it? Because it's you at least 30 days.
It has been 30 days.
Has it been 30 days?
Yeah. Since we talked about Kid Cudi and depression.
I guess.
Yeah.
It seemed like it just wasn't that long ago.
Shit, didn't seem like we started this shit a year ago.
You right. Touche.
I mean, damn, time flying like hell. I don't know what to account for it either.
Turn around, and now I'm turning 26. Let me have this.
26.
So yeah, time just flies, man. Time just flies.
So I saw a video of a dude in Publix. He was recording a video, and he was upset. It was a white guy. He was upset that a group of brown people, which looked like they might have been Indian American, stepped in front of him in line. Now, this particular Publix had a number system that you pull, and what it looked like is they had a number, left, came back, and then got served before him because they had a number, and he didn't. But he was mad because they got served before him. He went on a whole rant. It involved the manager. The police watched it, and the police said, we can't do nothing because it looked like you egging them on. And that's what it looked like. He was just being aggressive for no reason. And I just wanted to say that I've had a conversation with a white guy who, not just one, several white guys who bring up the idea that they've lost jobs to black people because of affirmative action. If you don't know what affirmative action is, it's the quota that corporations have to hire black people, which started at a time when black people weren't getting hired. And so the white guys I've had this conversation with say stuff like, you know, yeah, I've lost a job to black people because of affirmative action. It's not possible for you to know that's the reason that you lost that job. You've discounted the fact that they may be more qualified than you.
Well, because they can't possibly be more qualified than
exactly.
me.
You've discounted the fact that they may interview better than you.
They can't possibly interview better than me.
Exactly. You've discounted the fact that they may just be a general, overall better candidate than you. And the only thing that can explain that is affirmative action. The only thing that can explain this black person getting a job over me is that the government said you have to hire this black person over this white person. And you know what? That is entitlement and white privilege in its finest. You have the luxury of believing that you're better than everybody else to the degree that you think you're supposed to have shit first. Well, everybody don't have that luxury. And to people who have the attitude like this dude that was in the deli, that because they were brown, you get to be mad at them getting served. Listen, and I hate to put it like this, but if you white in America, ain't nothing done held you back from shit.
No.
Individual people might have, but there is not a system that's been in place that has ever decided to hold you back because of something that got to do with your skin color. You know? And I'll give you the early America, early 1900s. Maybe if your ancestors were Scottish or Irish and came into this country, maybe yeah. But you still had the skin color prerequisite to apply for whiteness in America. And whiteness don't mean being white. You know, being white ain't nothing but a color. But whiteness in America is a concept. It means having access to greater America. It means having the access to loans, to credit, to certain real estate, to certain schools, to certain universities, the access to banks, the capability of building businesses in America. All of this stuff at a time when black people, brown people couldn't have shit and was discouraged, and they shit was burnt down, and they were turned down and denied loans and places in real estate and opportunities. You know, so y'all just got to deal with that shit today.
Pretty much.
Y'all just got to deal with it. That's the bottom line.
Yep.
But that's all I took from that story. There's that sense of entitlement that comes along with brown people getting stuff ahead of you. It's nothing to explain why a brown person should get something in front of a white person. But yet you continuously talk about equality, but you don't talk about equality in the real version of equality, in which you're seeking to be equal with somebody. Is that version of being angry at people for seeking it and you not getting what you want because that's supposed to be equality. Yep. That shit, it bothers me a lot.
Well, since we're on racism.
Yeah.
Alt-right groups.
Alt-right groups.
Yes. If y'all haven't seen this video, you should totally see this video. There was a rally, it was in Washington, D.C., by an alt-right group where they were using Nazi hand motions and saying, you know, hail Hitler. And
now, I will say they did not say hail Hitler.
I mean, not hail Trump.
Okay, they say hail Trump.
It goes so smoothly.
It do.
Hail Trump, sorry. They were yelling hail Trump.
Sorry for our Jewish listeners.
Oh, God,
she didn't mean that.
No, I did not mean hail Hitler. Hail Trump. And holding up the Heil sign, or whether, you know, you extend your arm with your fingers straight. And did you listen to, like, there's a clip where it's like really short that shows the end where they were doing the Heil, but there's a longer, like there's a whole video of the entire speech that he made. And basically it's about how Trump is gonna like bring back, you know, they've had, white people have had so much taken from them that, and Trump's gonna restore that because, you know, I watched that video and that video terrifies me. And the reason that video terrifies me is because I feel like this was the same shit that did happen in Nazi Germany, where Hitler started doing this and nobody was really like taking him seriously at first. I was really on board with it at first, and then it grew and it grew, and then it led to the murdering of a large amount of people based solely on them being Jewish. That is scary because history has shown us that that's something that can happen. So when I watched that video, I was just like, what is this 2016? Like, am I in the right year? Like, what the fuck is this? Now, you told me that these groups have existed for a while. This is the first that I've seen.
So I do a lot of interneting, for lack of a better way to put it. And the alt-right has been around for a while. It's a group that basically have been internet troll activists. They have, in civil conversations, they have implemented racism, sexism, misogyny, xenophobia, Nazism, all of these different things to represent their displeasure with the system of how white people have been, how things have been taken out of the hands of white people. And the idea is that, hey, we're white. We have the power. We have conquered people. We have created these systems, you know, and the idea that Trump represents is the one that they desire, which is Trump is going to make us relevant again, you know, and it's not as if you weren't ever relevant. The only white people that feel irrelevant are white people that are poor. They the only one, like, they the only ones because they don't have nothing. Like everybody else, if you're a white person that have something in America, you don't think like that.
No. Because
you got something. It's just poor white people who ain't got nothing damn else going for them feels like Trump is going to make white relevant again. Now, that's not to say that those wealthy and other people that got stuff ain't voting for Trump, but it's a lot of people voting for Trump for a lot of various different issues. My problem with those people voting for Trump, or not even my problem, but the indifference that they have to brown people who have these concerns and worries about this whole situation and this uprising that Trump's nomination and being elected has brought upon us. Their indifference is a problem to me.
It is
because you have the luxury to not worry about race related shit and sex related shit and xenophobia and all these other religious related things. You have the luxury of not thinking about that stuff because you get to be white, straight, middle class in America.
I mean, I always look at these kinds of rallies or white people that are like, you know, they need to take back their power, and like a kid who stole a Snickers bar and the parent says, we gonna take this back and you didn't pay for this ain't yours, we gonna take it back. That throws a tantrum and says, but it's mine. But it's not yours. You stole it. This is stolen shit. You stole it. It's not yours. It doesn't belong to you. It never belonged to you. You took it when you weren't supposed to. And now you're mad because people are trying to put it back the way that it was or right your wrong. And you got a problem with it. I like the same way, you know, people conveniently forget how America came to be. This was not y'all shit. Y'all, first of all, you weren't even trying to get to America. What were they trying to sell to? China. And you ended up here. And then you kill an entire group of people. And then the ones that were left over, eventually you put them on these little square plots of land and say, hey, you can have this. This is yours. Out of all of this shit that was all of this belonged to you, but now you can have this little 3x3 foot piece of land. Keep that. That's yours.
And
do
not
whatever
only
you
that,
want to.
not only that, but hey, I know we gave y'all this 3x3 foot piece of land, but we want to fucking drive a pipeline through it, and we don't want y'all to be able to say shit about it. So shut the fuck up and take these police brutalities and these riot gear and all of this shit that we doing to y'all. So if you don't know shit about the Dakota pipeline, go check it out because that's what the fuck is going on.
It's just crazy, like how people conveniently forget the history that they don't want to address. Like, this ain't your shit. It never was. You stole it. And so it isn't. Trump's not making America great again. He's making America into a shithole for the other people, for others. For everybody who would identify as other, and that's everybody that's not white, it's gonna be shitty. Your great America is terrifying to me. There ain't nothing great about it to my black ass, to my female ass. Nothing great about it at all. Scary.
So the guy's name is Richard Spencer. He is the one that's credited with creating the alt-right or whatever. He's the face behind it right now. And he went on to News One with Roland Martin.
Well, his ascots.
Man, Roland Martin looked like a pug.
The ascot don't help. I don't know if he feels like maybe it gives him a neck where he doesn't have one, but it makes it
Omar
worse.
Epps. They eyes too far apart. and they bug out a little bit. They look like pugs to me. I'm sorry. If you love pugs, then you love them.
Pug was my first dog choice before I got Kingston, who is a miniature schnauzer. I was gonna get a pug.
But he went on the news one and basically, Roland Martin just pretty much roasted him, showed that his beliefs were not backed up by information and knowledge.
And he says that he's not racist. Like, he doesn't think he's racist.
Yeah, he don't believe he's racist.
The fuck is your definition of racist?
And this is the crazy thing. He said black people built this country. And he said white people created these systems that the black people built for this country. So to him, like, he's itemizing what he wants to use to legitimize his whiteness in America and to make his whiteness superior to everything else. But to Roland Martin, he kept saying, I'm not racist. I don't feel like I'm better. I don't feel like I'm superior.
What? But you just, like, what you're saying is not matching up. And what you're saying doesn't make any sense. And as far as black people building this, that shit was not voluntary. We didn't just say, you know what? Let's go to America and, like, build up some shit. Like, that wasn't a choice. Black people were brought over here and subjected to horrible condition and horrible treatment and forced to do a bunch of shit that white people later tried to take credit for.
He even said in it that Roland Martin said, if white people he said that the South, the money from slavery is what helped build America. Mm-hmm. And Roland Martin asked him if he agreed with slavery. He said, no, I don't agree with slavery. He said, I believe that white people are smart enough to have found another way to do it, but slavery is the way that they chose at that point in time.
What?
Listen. He's not informed about his beliefs. Okay, he don't know why he believed what he believed. He was challenged on affirmative action. He was challenged on slavery. He was challenged on a lot of stuff. And Roland Martin, that's just what he do. He know his shit when it comes to this stuff. But what I took from it was that it's a lot of racists that don't believe they're racist.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that we can convince them that they're racist at all.
No.
It's nothing we can do.
No. Mm-mm. He is leading rallies talking about white people coming back into power and white people being conquerors and all of this, but still thinks that he's not racist. So what can you say to somebody where they believe? Because the thing about people who believe irrational things and illogical things, they're illogical and irrational. How do you fight that? If somebody like logically thought something, you could fight logic with logic. It's very hard to fight irrationality. It's difficult. As a counselor trying to like combat irrational thought patterns, this shit is hard to do. Hard, not easy. And for somebody like that who has a group that perpetuates these same irrationalities, you're not going to be able to convince him because he has a group of people who believes the way that he believes and co-signs on the things that he believes, and all of them think that they're right and not racist. So yeah, not much you can do.
But what you can do is still communicate with them to try to help them understand, I guess. I mean, Roland Martin was very condescending. You're not going to do it like that, But at that point, Roland Martin wasn't even trying to convince him. He was trying to roast him for real, it seemed like. But like from my perspective, you got to be willing to have an open dialogue with that person, man. I mean,
but how many people have you changed with open dialogue? Because you do that a lot. You have conversations with people you like to do. Well, I don't know if you like to do it, but you do it. How many people have you had open conversations with that saw the error in their thinking?
I don't know how many people I've directly changed, but if we talking about on Facebook as a medium, there are other people who join the conversation who will say things like, I've never heard it from that perspective. I've never looked at it in that way. And at the end of the day, it might reinforce they racist bullshit, but all I do is what I do. I mean, I don't do what I do based on the idea that I'm going to change people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might change people, but I want to know what I know, to be honest. I want to know why I believe what I believe, really. these dialogues always bring up ways to either challenge what I believe so that I can integrate new ways of believing into my system, or they challenge me enough to where they reinforce what I believe. And I know I believe it now because shit, I done been around the ring for about 3 or 4 times in this conversation, and I believe this shit. I don't have a problem with thinking differently about shit. Anything. You know, I want that. Challenge me. Make me think differently about shit. Like, that's something I really gonna want in my relationship with it. I know a lot of dudes and shit be like, you know, nah,
just agree with me and do what I say.
Say that. You know what I'm saying? No. If I say some shit that you don't fuck with, I want to know you don't fuck with it. You know, at the end of the day, we could be 2 people with 2 separate thoughts that don't fuck with them thoughts together, or I'm going to look at it your way, or you're going to look at it my way, or it's going to be some very subtle integrations of what you believe into what I got going on. I like that. I like that from anybody. I like being challenged. It don't bother me. So for me, it's about validating what I believe or modifying it, assimilating, you know, new information and new data, you know, but I just need to know if you're rational or irrational. I need to know. And if you're irrational, I don't care about you no more. You know, if you're rational and you just believe what the fuck you believe, you're entitled to that. Even if it's separate from me. The difficult part is allowing you to believe something about me that don't represent me. That's the hardest part, because it's a lot of opinions out there about black and about brown, and I'm gonna fall under the category of that shit being brown. And so if you start telling me something about my people that I don't agree with, that's the hardest part, because you can't change the reasons that people believe that bullshit. Mama, grandmama, daddy been teaching these young kids this shit their whole life, and now I'm supposed to come up and say that, you know, I'm not what they say I am. And the problem is, some black folks are what they say they are. Yeah. So even if I challenge it, I don't know how many they done ran into that ain't like me, but it's like the stereotypes. You know, stereotypes with all people exist. But just the whole idea that, but what I took from that is, there's people out there that don't believe they're racist. So I don't think it's important for us to validate that they racist. They don't have to agree with them being racist to be racist. Nope. They can disagree with it all day long. A racist is a fucking racist.
Yep, that's still what you are.
And that goes into reverse racism for me, because listen, it's different. It's different. It's a girl from Twitter that, you know, after the election started painting her face white and talking about, you know, I won't have the problems that black people have because I'm white. And she got her Twitter account suspended. And you see a lot of tweets of people saying, white people saying, you know, if it was a white person, you know how bad it would be. If this was that's how bad it would be. Listen, white people, y'all did that shit in the 1920s and 1930s. Y'all did blackface. Y'all made caricatures of black people. Y'all treated black people like shit in America. Not y'all directly, but y'all ancestors. Well, if you 80 years old listening and you did that shit, then yeah, your ass. You know, but white America did all of this shit. Like, the things that black people are complaining about when it comes to blackface, when it comes to cultural appropriation, white people, y'all have made the conditions to where we have to be like you to operate here. All of these policies about not being able to have dreadlocks, so you gotta straighten your hair. That's your rules. That's your requirement that you put on black people. Lighter skinned people having more opportunities, you've created that in your system. Like the shit that white people are saying is a problem when we do it, y'all have forced us to be a part of y'all system by doing that shit. And the cry for reverse racism is, it's not because it's reverse racism, it's because you do it to me, so I should be able to do it to you. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Because a white person in the 20s painting their face black, they got that job as a white person that pretended to be black. Yep. Ain't nothing I can do to pretend to be white that's gonna get me anything in this world. Nope. If I paint my face white, I'm gonna get my ass whooped. I'm definitely not gonna get the job. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man.
Do people have a problem with Joanne the Scammer? Because, you know, his whole shtick is that he's living this Caucasian lifestyle and he goes around stealing shit that's not his. And
I don't see that. But, I mean, I don't see why people would.
I mean, if they get upset at the girl for making a joke and painting her face white.
I don't think he's calling himself, I don't know. I haven't picked it up like that. I don't think he's calling himself Caucasian. I think that he has a ideal of what a White House looks like.
But again, could somebody not make an argument? Well, if I did this and was like I was living in a trap house as a white person, people would get upset. Like, the argument could still be made for Joanne the Scammer because he's a minority.
Well, look at the difference. The difference is the bullshit that they use to stereotypically represent black people is fuckery.
No, I know that. What I'm saying, I was just asking if anybody had complained about Joanne the Scammer.
I haven't heard any of it.
Okay.
But if it was, what would it be about? What would it be about? I fucking hate that this black man is talking about our wealth and how exquisite our lifestyles are and how great our cars are and how wonderful things we have. Like, why would you complain about somebody making that? Ain't even a mockery. That's like putting your culture on a pedestal. But when you have a fucking trap house hood party and you come pregnant and you come with bandanas on your head, like when you make a mockery of black people, it's always bullshit. Ain't no version of mockery to white people. We mock white people because they don't season their food. Big fucking whoop. We mock white people because they don't dance on the rhythm. They fucking don't.
They don't.
If
and
you do,
how hard is it?
If you do, kudos.
How hard is it to dance on rhythm? I don't understand why that's like.
They dance to the words.
How can you not catch the beat?
They dance on the rhythm to the words. It's not the beat. We dance to the beat. They dance to the words. The words is different than the beat. So we see it crazy.
Maybe I've always wondered why. Cause it's like the beat. You just follow the beat.
I mean, even the worst mockery that we have of white people ain't no worst. They just lateral moves. They just random shit. You know what I'm like? It's a million ways to mock black people that's offensive.
Yeah.
And they do every single one of them. When is the last time you seen some kind of mockery of black people that was positive? One that I know of my whole fucking lifetime. Fucking Rachel Dolezal.
Oh, yeah.
Her whole existence was to uphold great shit about black people.
Yeah.
And we didn't even accept her for that shit.
Ain't she writing a book now?
I don't know what
making
the hell
a
she
TV
doing.
show. I saw something about her the other day, but I just couldn't be bothered to read that shit.
But you know what? Some people accept her, some people don't like. But at the end of the day, if you're making a mockery of white people, it ain't bad. So I don't know why you would have a problem with Joanne the Scammer if you did. It would be some more of that bullshit ass, well, you doing it to us, so we doing it to you.
Yeah.
How dare you use Caucasian and say this is what's going on? What? The reason I don't like you doing that shit with me is because you make a mockery of it and you make me seem like I ain't shit. Joanne the Scammer ain't doing that to y'all ass. So big whoop. You know, and it's been like that throughout history. Like, white is right as far as our culture is concerned. Mm-hmm. And that shit is ingrained heavily in the minds of black people. White is the standard. You know what? We just want to be a part of the standard. Is that so hard to ask? We just want to not be looked at as outcasts. You know, why in Walmart do it have to be an ethnic section? It ain't to help me find my brushes easier. Why you can just put them with the fucking regular brushes? I don't know where all the brushes are. Don't put mine in the ethnic section. Black people know what kind of hair products they use. You can just put that shit in the regular hair product section.
Yep.
They'll get it. They'll find it. Black people use shit with shampoos with certain shit in it. Conditioners with certain shit in it. They know what they use. Like, we just want to be included. Stop making Band-Aid skin colored. Make them motherfuckers colors of rainbows. Well, that'll be gay.
Yes.
To
yes,
people who making them. Not like, I'm not saying that's gay. I'm saying that'll be gay to people who would buy Band-Aids.
Yeah.
But you know what? If Band-Aid released a statement that said we will no longer be making Band-Aids skin colored, as the implication that the only skin color that matters is white, then white people's skin or the color that, then white people would be mad as fuck.
They would be upset.
Like, that's what inclusion looks like.
Same way with nudes. Like, if you buy like a nude color, well, you don't have, nude color underwear for women is white. Like, it's not my nude. I think there was a company that came out with a line of nude color underwear for women of color because we didn't have that. Same thing with like lipsticks and makeup. Nude colors are nude for white people. It's never nude for us. Because nude for me is not gonna be no pale ass color. That ain't nude. Is that the color of my lips? So yeah.
So as it pertains to diversity, when used by white people is to say, hey, diversity is something that y'all want, right? Then y'all should be including us in everything too. You know, for example, Hamilton is a damn near 99% black cast. When all of this shit about Pence came out, motherfuckers is like, oh, you know, a cast about a cast with all black members, black and Latino members, complaining to Pence, and their people portraying white people. Like, people was complaining about this shit.
Hey, go to every other show on Broadway and see what. That's what I'm saying.
Like, people complaining about this shit. So diversity becomes a talking point to say, don't complain about diversity because that business hired 3 black people, you know, or y'all are on a Broadway that, you know, y'all, those are not white people. Y'all are white people. Think of what I'm trying to say. Y'all are black people representing white people. Like, that's not diversity. Shouldn't white people be playing it? Like, shit like that. Our cry for diversity, let me just say that. Our cry for diversity is 2 white people. White people run this shit. They created this shit. They created this shit for them. And I understand. But when we talk about diversity, we are pleading to you to allow diversity to happen. That's what it is. We are scrounging for scraps for this shit. We are grabbing at scraps in America to be included. Those scraps do include affirmative action. Those scraps do include the NAACP existing. Those scraps do include HBCUs existing. Those are the scraps that we've been grasping at and pulling together so that we can have something closely related to America. Diversity, that message ain't for black people. So you don't have to say, hey, isn't the world supposed to be more diverse? You don't have to say that shit is for, that message is for non-brown people, from non-brown people. That's just what it is. At the end of the day, y'all, white people, y'all get to choose whether diversity is something or not. Now, in 500 or 600 years, you ain't gonna be able to choose. Everybody gonna be the color of coffee in this motherfucker, and everybody gonna have 5 or 6 races inside of them at any given time. But I am just really, really tired of people using diversity as a scapegoat for when a white person don't have something. I mean, if you don't have something, I don't know why you ain't got it, but it ain't because nothing in our society that held you back from getting it. And I promise you, affirmative action hasn't stopped you from getting shit. The way that Richard Spencer was talking about affirmative action on Roland Martin, which I don't know why he didn't call him on how he was defining it, but he was saying that affirmative action tells these companies not to hire white men. You talking about the companies with a 90% fucking white employee rate? What do you mean? They are not telling them not to hire white men. They're saying holler whoever the fuck is qualified, regardless of what color they are.
Yep.
Because
don't just hire white men.
Exactly. Because history shown that they was just hiring white men.
Yeah.
And unless you just want to say white men are the smartest motherfuckers and the dumbest white man is smarter than the smartest black person or brown person, unless you're willing to say that, you should be fine with that shit. You should just be fine with it. Damn. I got very frustrated.
You did. You got pretty upset there.
I wouldn't say upset.
Oh, God.
But frustrated. Just listen. Just the combination of things that I've saw this week, just including that dude at the deli, including the News One interview with Roland Martin, all that shit, it's just frustrating. But that's all I got. You got anything else on your mind?
How was your couple of days with Remy?
They were cool. He shit and piss on my floor all the time, but I don't expect that much out of a little tiny puppy that ain't even supposed to be in the hands of humans for 2 more weeks. I can't expect much out. I mean, he is a very good dog. You might have won the lottery on how agreeable and easy it's gonna be to train that puppy.
By comparison, as far as Kingston wasn't hard to train. Kingston is just very willful.
He's just so easily redirectable. Mm-hmm. I didn't expect him to be that easily redirectable. Because when he peed on the pee pad, mm-hmm. which I had that box up on it, so it don't go through and get on the carpet. But when he peed on the pee pad, because he had peed on the floor earlier, I just stood right there and just said potty 30 times to him. Because that's what I be saying outside. And mm-hmm. at some point he peed on it. I ain't even see him. So
it's hard because he squats. And so it looks like he's sitting. And so, we'll be outside and I'll be like, did you go on that? Because so I walk him where there's dirt so I can see it. Because his squatting posture looks like he just sitting there. So you can't never tell when he goes. It's hard. He used to lift his legs. So it's obvious but Remy's squat still because he's so little. He's teeny tiny.
Yep. Very.
But On Point had him on a pillow. He sent me this picture where he had him up on a pillow, and I was like, oh my, because I left the crate. I thought you were gonna have him sleep in the crate and not give him a pillow.
I had him in the crate the first day, and then I realized that if him just not chewing on stuff is the problem, then I just leave him in an area with nothing to chew on, which is the bathroom area. And then when I had him out, when not in the bathroom area, he didn't chew on nothing. He just wasn't chewing on nothing. And so I just didn't see no issue with leaving him out here. And so the first night I tried leaving him out here, and it didn't cause no problems. And so I put that pillow down there. He just ran straight up and got on the pillow and just laid there. That's something that I could never get my old dog to do. I did all kind of tactics to try to get the dog to lay on the pillow, and then it's just with him, you just put a pillow down and he just go lay on it.
Yep.
So
I have one in the living room, and he lays in Kingston's bed in my room because I haven't bought him a bed because I'm trying to wait until I see how big he's gonna get because he's a mix, and so I don't have a gauge for how large he's gonna get, and I don't want to buy beds at different. I'm not gonna get another dog, so I don't want to buy beds at different stages and then have all these little fucking beds that nobody can.
Well, why don't you just get one? Why don't you get a big one bed for so he can just feel like a king right now, and when he get bigger, he'll just be right where he's supposed to be.
He's been laying in Kingston, but Kingston sleeps on my bed. So Remy being in his bed don't matter because Kingston don't lay in it. Remy lays in the bed way more than King. He enjoyed, there's a big pillow on the floor. He lays on that, and then he lays in Kingston's bed. He likes laying in beds. Kingston, not so much. Kingston like to be on the couch, or he like to be in my bed. Yeah. He will sleep in, if I sleep, because I sleep kind of rough sometimes. If I'm flailing about during the night, I'll wake up the next morning and Kingston in his bed bitch, you were moving too much. I couldn't do it. Most of the time, though, he just sleeps at the foot of my bed. Remy, I think, enjoys sleeping in the bed. He likes it. He gets in his little ball and he'll go to sleep on the bed.
Gotcha.
So, but I'm glad he wasn't too much trouble.
No.
Kingston was. I couldn't have left Kingston with you.
I know. He wouldn't have let that shit. He would have came back and hated your ass for leaving you with somebody.
Yep.
And he would have hated me. But he wouldn't have let it happen. So we wouldn't have had that. He wouldn't have let that happen no more.
Remy's a lot more easygoing.
And he's fucking 6 weeks old.
That
so,
too.
I mean, that make a difference.
Such a little baby.
You got anything else on your mind?
I do not.
All right. Well, until we come to the next conversation.
We out.
Holla.